With food prices going through the roof, you need to have ground beef in your cooking arsenal. Why? Because it's fast, cheap, and easy. Remind you of anyone? Now follow me and let's turn up the tasty. Now I know what you're thinking. Joey, cooking ground beef is so easy. Do we really need a whole video about it? Well, do you know that ground beef represents 60% of every cow that is slaughtered? Massacred, whatever you want to say. I'm just having some fun, but whatever you say, know that this cut of beef is relatively inexpensive. Cut of beef, if you want to call it that. By comparison, we have this beautiful Delmonico ribeye right here. This thing costs $22 a pound. So with ground beef costing about $5 to $6 a pound, that means you can feed about 4 to 5 times more people with this than you can with that. So let's go ahead and get cooking. How am I gonna cook this today? Well, right here in this pan. Now there's so many different ways you can cook ground beef. You can pan fry it, you can smoke it, you can bake it, you can stir fry it, you can wok fry it, you can sous vide it, you can boil it, you can broil it, and I can go on and on and on. And it's so easy. All you need to do is cook it to an internal temperature of about 155 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. We do that to make sure we kill all the bacteria. Unlike this steak, which would only have bacteria on the outside, it would be killed whenever it hits the heat. This is all ground up. So all that surface area got all put in here, so we want to cook it to a point where it is well done to make sure that there is no more bacteria on it. And it's super simple. I'm just going to go ahead and let it cook from here, stir it around. Now I am cooking with 80-20 ground beef, but it does come in a lot of different forms. You can buy 90-10, 93-7, 75-25, I can go on and on, but essentially that second number is a measure of how much fat is in the beef relative to the meat. And as you've heard me say 1,000 times, the fat is where it's at. That's where beef, meat in general, gets a lot of its flavor from. So while cooking this is really easy, really simple process, I'm going to show you a couple different ways that we can use this to make a really delicious meal. Now as I'm cooking this, I hear the voices of the Oompa Loompas singing. What will you do with your dinner, grief? Go to the fridge and grab some ground beef. Oh, here it is, what a relief. Now make a burger and sink in your teeth. All right, let's get this out of here. So, super easy. Let it brown, spread it around, and have it hit that surface area. I've shown you how to smoke this as I made ground beef nachos. It gives it an excellent flavor. You hit it with a little seasoning. Now let's talk about seasoning for a minute, because ground beef really is a blank canvas that you can use to create just a ton of different flavors. You can use some taco seasoning to make it taste a little taco-y. You can use salt, pepper, a bunch of different flavors from cuisines across the world. There's so many different things that you can make with ground beef. You can make ground beef hamburgers, ground beef meatballs, ground beef soup, ground beef tacos, ground beef chili, ground beef enchiladas. What I'm trying to say is you can use ground beef for a lot of things. And I'm going to show you just a couple quick and easy recipes to cure your dinner grief when you come home and you're hungry and you're ready to eat. And the thing about ground beef is it plays really well in the sandbox with other proteins. You can mix it with ground chicken or ground pork, just to name a few. Now what I'm gonna make with this is some bacon cheeseburger stuffed jalapenos. Now I know that there's another way to say that, but I don't speak Spanish.
Do you have anything besides Mexican food?
So I'm gonna make some jalapenos. I like to call them jalapa pops. It's our nickname around here. We're gonna, I have some fresh tortillas in there. We're gonna make some tacos and a quick weeknight meal I make all the time around here with rice, cheese, and green beans. Well, what am I gonna season this with? Some Texas brisket rub from my friend Malcolm Reed. It's simple, it's versatile, but again, you can really use anything you want. You can add some onions, some green peppers, a whole bunch of herbs, spices to really cook it to suit your own personal flavor profile or whatever you're gonna mix it, make it with. Again, this is just one of many ways to cook it fast, it's cheap, and it's easy. So if this is your first time cooking ground beef, it's so easy. All you have to do is wait for all the pink to be gone. Now, I know that goes against the advice I would give you for cooking a steak. In this case, because it is ground, we want to make sure we are killing all the bacteria. So when it comes to cooking ground beef, as I said, it is super easy. You really can't mess it up because you won't overcook it, but you can burn it. So what I like to use is like a medium high heat, 6 or 7 out of 10. Also keeps the grease from popping out and all over you, all over the countertop. And it ultimately gets the job done. Another great thing about cooking ground beef is that you can literally walk away from it as it cooks because you're not going to overcook it. You're not going to ruin it. So unlike a steak where you really have to sort of baby it, much easier and a little faster. All right, now that this is done cooking, all the pink is gone. Let's go ahead and strain it. My handle is not too hot here. Turn that off. Process, got a strainer or colander right here. Shake it in. I'm gonna let it cool and then I'm gonna show you how to make a couple quick, easy recipes. So one meal I make all the time around here that's quick and easy is just rice, green beans, cheese, and ground beef. My kid loves it. We're in and out of the door if we have some place to be with eating in probably under about 20 minutes. So super easy. So just some Ben's instant rice, microwave this stuff for 90 seconds. Green beans, microwave or stovetop for about another 90 seconds, a little longer on the stove. Some shredded cheese, it's Kraft, not an endorsement, but I do like it. And some hot sauce. From there, it is just rice at the base, green beans on top, ground beef next, cheese, hot sauce, put it all together. Look at that. We have an easy, fast doesn't always imply easy, but easy, fast, healthy, and most importantly, a delicious dinner. It's gonna take some willpower not to eat all of this right now. Next up, I've shown you how to do this in another video with brisket, but the process is exactly the same. First, you start with a jalapeno right here, cut it right down the middle. Inside, you will see that it has the seeds remaining, and you just want to go ahead and remove those. I like to grab a spoon and just get that out of there, just like so. Now, one quick note when you're working with these peppers is I do suggest wearing gloves. It's easy to forget that you are doing this process and rub your eyes or other areas, and it does burn, at least I've heard. But once these are totally cored out, we have these little jalapeno boats right here. Take a look at them. Go ahead and rinse these seeds out. Set that to the side. Now we have some cream cheese. Super easy. It is already softened. Go ahead and get this into a bowl. Next up, I have some blended cheese, but you can really use any kind you like. There is no recipe for this. It's cheese. Use as much as you want. It's that easy. Make it how you like it. Why do I use the two different types of cheese? Well, because I like something that holds that cream cheese together a little bit more. It becomes really melty, and I like the flavor of the cheddar and the Monterey's. Next up, you're gonna season it a little bit. Friends with the guys over at Code 3 Spices. You can really use whatever you want. You don't even have to season it. I like this one. It has a little bit of heat, a little bit of sugar that help turn up the tasty on every bite. Next, we're gonna get some ground beef in there. Now what you want to do is get that all mixed up. Now if you want to know what this tastes like before you stuff it all in the peppers, well, it's just beef and cheese. So I like to grab a couple of crackers and let's see how it tastes. I mean, it's beef and cheese, guys. You cannot go wrong with this. So good. I could eat that just like that. But we're making jalapeno pop, so here we go. Get a little spoonful out of there, right in the middle of the boat. Right over here, we have a piece of bacon. I like to start at the end and just work my way towards the top while overlapping that wrap. All you need to do is now bake this in the oven or smoke it on your smoker at about 375 degrees to 400. Leave it in there for about 15 to 20 minutes until that bacon is nice and crispy, and it makes an awesome appetizer or dinner. All right, just showing you this again on the second one before we move on to the next recipe. I like to start at the end, wrap in an overlapping fashion. And I do like the classic cut or thin cut bacon versus the thick, because I find that the thick bacon, when it overlaps, almost never gets crispy. And that's what I like, that crispy, crunchity bite followed up by the cheese and the heat of the jalapeno. So now, once these are done, you can bake them in your oven at about 375 degrees to 400 degrees. You can throw them on the smoker at the same temperature or air fryer. They're gonna take about 15 to 20 minutes, but boy, will they be good. Since I have the peppers out, I'm gonna go ahead and julienne and slice these. Now I know that this isn't the right knife for this, but I have it out and I don't wanna make another one dirty, so it will do. Cut those in smaller pieces like so. Now we're gonna make some tacos. Like I said, I don't speak Spanish. I don't know much about Spanish cooking, but this is super easy. All right, here we have 2 tortillas. They're soft tortillas, but not quite soft enough. So how I like to make them a little bit softer is to just grab a paper towel, get it nice and wet, wring it out, place it over the top, and we're gonna put it in the microwave for about 15 seconds. We microwave these very brief period of time and they are warm and soft. Throw a little ground beef in here. Some cheese, super simple. Some peppers going on top. Now this is just how I make my tacos. This is a very common lunch around here. When I am on the fly, I typically have a lot of ground beef already cooked, waiting for me in the fridge so I can just microwave it. This entire lunch, once the ground beef is cooked, takes about 2 minutes to make. A little bit of hot sauce on the top, like so. Fold the end, wrap it up like they do at Chipotle, and lunch is served. That's so simple, it's so healthy, and it is so good. As I bite in, what I'm getting is that texture from the tortilla, the salty, beefy pepperiness of the beef itself, a little creaminess from the cheese, and some crunch and some heat from the peppers. So easy, so good. That's how I make it. How do you make your tacos? Let us know in the comments below. Do you add tomatoes, lettuce, sour cream, green peppers? I'd love to hear from you. As I said at the beginning of this video, cooking ground beef is fast, cheap, and easy, and you should have at least a few of these recipes, if not more, in your daily cooking arsenal. Look, it's gonna take us more time to clean up this mess than it did to actually cook the beef, which was done in probably about 3 to 5 minutes. What do you use ground beef for? How do you cook it? What dishes are you putting it in? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And just remember, today's a beautiful day to give someone a hug and tell them you love them. Just remember, you should know them first, otherwise it might be kind of weird. Thanks for checking out the video. I'll see you guys soon.